Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Reus 2, world already in progress here with the Everglades expansion. And we are trying our very best to build 3 cities up to 15 wealth each. The merchant city, of course, is already there. It's a there and then some. So I'm not too concerned about that. We just upgraded our entomologist's city. So I think this city request from the Huntress has been sitting in the queue for a while, and she's probably going to get kind of annoyed with us if we don't make some movement on it. So let's focus on this first. We need to get you up 9 points. That seems very doable, especially because we have not yet chosen our inspiration for the area. Okay, so Costume Maker gives 160 gold and science if you can get to 6 flower or bird biotica within borders. It's interesting to note that the gap on this one's quite large, and these are big payouts, but it's really easy. Like, we've already hit the first level. Yeah, that's really interesting. Because, like, if you compare it to the tavern, which is a 50, 100, 50, 100, just being at X2 and hitting the first tier here, we've almost got the same values as a full value tavern. Yeah, and so she's shooting for wealth and population, but the fact that we're so focused on wealth and population means that it's going to be very, very easy to gain a lot of technology from science because it's so much lower than everything else. So honestly, Costume Maker is looking pretty good to me, especially since of the options here, it is the one that generates the largest amount of gold. I think ordinarily I would probably do like Butcher or something, but let's try Costume Maker. Let's see if we can generate a little bit of bonus science here. We have access to a fair number of birds. So it's birds and flowers, right? And obviously she's gonna tend to prefer birds. Okay, so we need to talk about upgrades and stars. Starting in Era 2, we've been slowly earning these upgrade charges. Starting in Era 2, we can use these upgrade charges to upgrade slots to level 2 and level 3, which allows us to place 2-star and 3-star, respectively, biotica within them. And those ones are a lot better than the 1-stars, generally. We can see here that just the first level of Costume Maker being finished already scored us an invention. Okay, it's not a very good one, but it's fine. As we create better biotica, the kinds of inventions we get from them also will often improve, although there is quite a lot of luck in the invention system for sure. Okay, so we're at 10 wealth already for this. We need to push 5 more points, and then also, get Hunter's Town finished. You'll notice we definitely have a lot more Eon to play with for this era. So, let me get all my giants over here. And you know what? I think I'm gonna take a desert draft as well. In particular, what I'm looking for here is like birds. We did not find any. So we could re-roll. I think there are some other birds in the pool. And certainly nothing here generates food. This is it's a pretty good wealth generation pool, though. The Gila monster having a base payout of 25-25 and going up to 175-100 as long as it's not adjacent to an animal is pretty great, but that it loses a lot of its gold output if there are just animals in the biome, and obviously we intend for there to be animals in the biome. The Fennec Fox doubles the gold output of predators in the biome and also likes to be near other critters, and yeah, it is itself a predator, so it will get this bonus, so it'll be at 150 gold output as long as you are scoring it, and it's a haven for micros. Sunstone gives you a lot of extra biodiversity if you can meet its bonus. The bearded dragon is a weird little predator reptile, and we do love our predators and our reptiles. Yeah, I think honestly taking the fennec here is like reasonable and pretty good for approaching merchant age, not so much for finishing Hunter's Town. So you're a critter. And one thing we can definitely do is try to push Northern Oasis City across the border here and try to make sure we get some Savannah land for it. And in fact, I'm going to take a Savannah draft too. Now you're just trying to get technology, and you're actually like pretty far along. And once we take an inspiration, that'll cover a lot of it too. So when we're drafting for this biome, we do need to be thinking about tech, but we also need to be thinking about trying to get this city to 15. So let's see about a Savannah draft. Well, we got a bird. A bird and a bunch of gems. It's not super compelling. We do have a couple of rerolls. These are not the most exciting drafts for us, I think. Although, you know, the Jackalberry, although it doesn't play very well with our costume maker, I'm hoping to draft some stuff, you know, that we can put across the border and expand into for costume maker. This doesn't play well with costume maker, but it does do a pretty good job of combining our desire to play a lot of animals, and particularly predators, with the goal of generating a lot of science over here, and a lot of these are generating pretty decent money as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the Jackalberry. I think this works pretty well for you. So, unfortunately, and we're gonna be hard pressed to get to 6 flower or bird biotica within borders. It's not the end of the world if we can't make it, but it is a little bit of a bummer. Do we have any flowers? We don't have any flowers in this biome. For this biome, none of these plants have the flower tag, and we have a bird. Well, I think I do want to play the fennec, and that bird is a critter. So, alright, I think that's going to be good. So, we're going to have to upgrade the slots here to play the fennec. I am totally down with that. In order to, when we upgrade the slots, the things that are currently on the slots are going to be locked in, effectively. Their payout is going to be locked into the slot permanently. It's going to delete the things that actually exist there to make room for more stuff, but it's gonna seed the bonus food down into the ground, basically. Now we could place something here so that when we upgrade this patch, which contains these 2 slots, we'll lock a lot of legacy value in, but obviously that costs a little bit of extra Eon to place an extra thing down, and I'm a little worried about having enough Eon to meet all of our goals right now, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade this with only one of its slots filled. So, if you wouldn't mind coming over here and doing the honors for us, Mr. Savannah Giant. Now, the slots do not maintain the tags of the lost animal. Okay, and when that one upgraded, it turned into a plant booster slot. That's a little bit of a shame. We don't have very good plants for this biome, so I'm going to ignore that and go ahead and put an animal over it. But it's a little bit of a bummer that it didn't come up as like an animal booster. So you can see this slot has Legacy Sand Grouse. There being a legacy thing does grant a discount on biotica placement, but to put down a new bioticum, legacy it, and then put something over top of it costs 8 eon in total then with the discount, as opposed to just 5 eon for putting a thing down post upgrade, and I'm just a little worried is all. I will say we are currently a little short on biodiversity. We don't have the 4 biodiversity necessary to place the fennec, so let's fix things up a little bit. We can put a dove over here to be the critter for our fennec. It doesn't have Baron, so we don't want to put it near the ostrich. And then we can place a new sand grouse over by the ostrich because it does have Baron, and that'll help us secure a little bit of extra biodiversity. Make as many different birds as possible here for our costume maker as well. Alright, so sand grouse. I don't really know where I want the sand grouse to be. Just put it here, I guess. Give it some adjacencies. Okay, and that should get us to 4 biodiversity. Enough to place the fennec here. Now, when you put a creature in a slot that is a higher, or when you put a bioticum of any kind in a slot that is a higher level than the thing itself, it does get a resource boost, and the dove has pretty good resources on it. So actually, I think it's a really good match for getting overslotted. Okay, the fennec is boosting all those friends, and then we need to get another critter down. So we're gonna put down a guinea fowl right here on the other side of the thing. That'll create another predator, as well as creating another, adding another bird to costume maker. And you know, it doesn't say distinct flower or bird biotica, so we could double up on some of these creatures. We actually probably can push the 6 if we really want to. Okay, and there's 15. Managed to push up to 15 gold. Fantastic. So at this point, I think let's just generate food. Let's try to finish the bonus here. So what other food generating things can we put down? We have a sand grouse already. Obviously, the 3-star animals can generate an awful lot of resources. We could get something from putting down some barley around here somewhere. Unfortunately, I guess the jerboa doesn't need to be right here, but it isn't barren, so we don't want to put it near the ostrich either. I'm just thinking to avoid damaging our ostrich's payout. If we were going to put down barley, we'd have to put it all the way over here. It actually is a little tricky to generate the resource levels you need for things if you don't pick project inspirations that are fully on board. Things that are 100% in line with what you're doing, but that is part of the challenge of the game. It probably wouldn't be too hard to get them to expand again if we needed to. But I'm wondering if we should push another draft, honestly. Okay, well, we do have a little bit of reach into this territory too. So I don't have any other food generating animals. What's the best we can do food wise over here? The jackalberry is a science generator. The yam, which is 2 stars, can generate up to, so for each point of sweetener, it generates 2 food. Man, that could be a lot. So we could get up to 100 food out of this yam. That is the best we're going to do. It requires a little bit of assistance, but we can make this happen. So it's just science in adjacent plants. So we'd have to get a plant nearby that's producing 40 science. Obviously, to put it here so that it feeds the umbrella thorn acacia would absolutely do it. How are you feeling about upgrading, or about expanding? Okay. So what I'm thinking is we want to be a little bit careful here because I would really like Northern Oasis City to expand to grab this patch instead of Sundunes Citadel. So we have to be cautious how we form our enticements here. I think I'm again going to upgrade a slot without putting any legacies into it, just to preserve Eon for the moment. Maybe that's foolishness. We're trying to meet some pretty rough values, so maybe it would be a good idea to put down like whatever the maximum food output we can get in a tier 1 slot is. That's probably just putting down 2 barleys and then yeah. Now, one thing we could do is we could go to the store, we could buy a border booster, and we could fire it from Northern Oasis City to force it to expand. But I don't want to spend the resources if I don't have to, you know? I'm gonna see if we can get Northern Oasis City to grab this. The merchant invented something. So that's going to have them both at 3 pluses and 3 minuses. And so if we can generate 1 extra plus from Biotica within the borders of this city, we'll be able to shove them over here. So we'll do that in a second. What did you invent? You invented solid artwork. So once again, just, yeah, all of our inventions so far this game are just +1 wealth. Not ideal. Alright, so let's put down a little bit more stuff over here. We can put down, obviously, some things that are barren, that have the barren tag to take advantage of this. You guys want to just have there be 1 critter in the area that has, yeah. This is probably fine to put down here. Not that this city needs more gold right now, but I'm just trying to drive up its total prosperity. And when they hit enough desire to expand, they will always prefer to expand in a direction where there is some kind of bioticum right outside the border over one where there isn't. So I'm gonna intentionally not put anything down over here. Then we can put down a little sagebrush. This is just more biodiversity. I'm trying to make sure this place is prepped to receive what do you call it? Prepped to receive new apex biotica. Did that really not? I thought you could get to 2 pluses for many biotica within borders by filling all of the slots. Have I not filled all the slots? No, I haven't. There's 1 more. Okay. Do we have any idea what we want this to be? We want it to be something that generates food, for sure. So this wants to be next to at least 2 food. That would produce 20 food. Or sorry, that's a level 2 though. We have a level 1 slot available here. I hate to just generate like I hate to put down 600 of the same thing, but it does feel like we are probably, well, I can put down a 5th bird and it's slightly less food, but it is another bird. Okay, so this should cause them to generate one more plus for expansion, which will cause the city to do an expansion, which will cause them to expand this way because there's something right outside the gates. There we go. And she's starting to get a little unhappy. That's fine. We're working on it. Okay, now we can come over here, drop some barley on this space. But I didn't wanna level this up and potentially draw the attention of the Citadel until we had the border covered already. There we go. Okay, we've done that, and now upgrade over top of it. Uh-oh. The merchant sent out raiders to steal wealth from the entomologist. I don't want that to happen. At this point, the entomologist is already so low on wealth. We're kind of fucking things up, so we're gonna defend against that. Yeah, and I guess it may as well be you. So where are those raiders? It's taken the raiders an awfully long time to get over here. And we had time to put down a thing. So let's go ahead and drop down that yam, which is an undergrowth bioticum, so it will boost the value of Lonely Tree. And also give us some more stuff. Yeah, look at that. 130 food, in fact. Not sure what just happened. Why did so many different things just generate a little bit of resource? I have no idea. We are going to create a dangerous bog to fuck up their shit. As soon as they step over the border here, whatever, just get them right now. I am angry. The merchant hates that the swamp giant messes with their war plans. And the entomologist now worships the swamp giant. So wait, I probably removed that. Oh no, this was a temple to the savannah giant, right? Because you love the savannah giant, and the entomologist now loves the swamp giant. So every time we defend them with the swamp giant, they'll gain some mystery, which is cool, free resources. We're gonna come back to working on you later. So that yam, with the expansion, was enough to get us up to 17 food here. The other level 2 slot generated a mineral booster, but I'm pretty sure none of our minerals produce food. So I think we're going to want to put something else there. So given that we have a level 2 slot, do we have another good level 2 food producing thing? I don't want this to be a place for jackalberries. I guess we can just make it red oats. That's more food. That'll get us to 19, because we're almost at 18. And then we've created a ton of biodiversity for the Sundunes desert. So hopefully we'll be able to take some good advantage of that. So let's see here. How much further do we have to go? We're going to have 14, so I need to produce 27 more food to push this over the top. And then we can get back to focusing on world trade. I just want to make sure we do this before the Huntress becomes angry at the Giants. So, is there a thing I can do that will produce 27 food? Plus 20% food for each adjacent mineral on a food source. We can produce plus 40% food on an animal. It's a shame all of our really good food sources are plants. Yeah. Our best food producing animal is currently producing 63 food. So even if we did that, an extra 40% is, what, like 24? It'd be like 25 points, which wouldn't quite get us there. It's close, but it wouldn't quite get us there. Is this city going to expand again? So they have 5 minuses, it looks like. So their territory is completely filled with biotica, which is a big deal. If we were to put down another food generator out here, I think they would expand. If we put stuff in both slots, I think they would expand. So hopefully this is making it a little clearer why I thought I was going to need a ton of Eon. So I'm going to put down some barley and also mud crack to fill this empty slot. Okay, so the 30 food from the barley will get us to 44. That'll do it. The entomologist is already starting to get cross, but I don't think it's going to be all that hard to satisfy the entomologist. Okay, so let's get this locked in here. Hooray! And we are currently at 5 birds. So I think what I'm going to do right now is, as we're going by, I'm going to, just for a little while, until the end of the era, I'm going to replace this jerboa with a sand grouse. This won't change the math of things too much. It'll lower our biodiversity slightly, because we already have a sand grouse, but it'll let us pass the era with the costume maker maxed out. And that's pretty good in my opinion. Is that going to get us anywhere? Where's the second invention? Second invention is at 15 technology, so we're not going to get close to that. But yeah, good overall. Okay, let's go work on the Sundunes. So, to be clear, World Trade level 2, or 2 stars, requires us to get 3 cities to 15 wealth, and then to reach 3 stars, we have to get to 60 total wealth and also 200 total prosperity on the planet. We're at 52 total wealth on the planet now, global. It says global wealth is 58. Did I spend some? Yeah, so we have 52 unspent. So we're actually at 58. Like, we're basically done with that. And then we just got to push prosperity a little bit. I think this is going to be easy. So it is worth noting that obviously the wood workshop gives the highest total payout here, but remember, the statue might even give us a pretty competitive amount of total prosperity, because it's boosting up one of our lower stats and also another stat. But neither one of them are super easy to fulfill from where we're at. We don't have a lot of tree biotica available. Alchemist Hut is super easy to hit. Just keep building things that make science. But it sure doesn't give us any gold. And this city is bound now on one side, so all of its expansion will be further into the wetlands. Although we can obviously reconfigure some things over here if we want to. In particular, I've not really left myself a spot for the jackalberry, and it is worth noting that the jackalberry is a tree. For each predator, and then plus 50% science for each distinct scavenger adjacent. So we'd have to refigure things a little bit. But if we put it here, we could put scavenger creatures there and there potentially. Or we could like lose the effect of the elephant grass, or we could maybe, I don't know. There are definitely ways we can score this out. There are definitely ways we can make this good. But it's going to play kind of weird over here because we have the Umbrella Thorn Acacia trying to get us to have a little garden area. Yeah, I'm inclined to think we should leave that side alone. So that would be a second tree then, the jackalberry. And we don't really have any more. I think wood workshop is probably off the table. So the question is just statue versus alchemist hut. Statue would require us to play a lot of minerals, whereas the alchemist hut lets us do just kind of whatever. So you have the element tag. You have the element tag. And then as far as stuff that can be placed in the savannah goes, nickel has it. And redstone has it. So we have... This is our one existing. I mean, we can certainly put down some stone over here. But I think I'm inclined to just accept the alchemist hut as kind of like an inferior total payout. But we're trying to build... the other big problem here is, I guess, that we're trying to build biotica that have gold payouts on them. And it tends to be the case that element rock is science rock. Let me take a draft for the wetlands here. Okay, we got a spoonbill. That's very cool looking. Huge amounts of food. 35 food and 5 mystery and tagged bird for each adjacent animal. So you can get this thing up to having 5 bird tags, which is weird. And I'm not sure how useful that is. This would get us another tree. You know, and this one does have a scavenger tag. 10 science for each distinct adjacent water bioticum. Or 10 mystery is interesting. So mystery converts into science. Not at a super great rate, but it does. Chart is 2 element tags and a bunch of science. All plants in this biome gain plus 50 science is really something. It's kind of a shame that's a wetlands plant instead of a savanna plant. Would be a lot better for us. All eligible adjacent biotica gain the Agraricus bisporus or bisporus micro, which just gives 40% extra payout to plant. That's a pretty good one. The Living Star. So part of what's cool about the Living Star, even though it's not necessarily playing into any of our other desires, is that it does generate a very large amount of gold in one slot and then leave us the rest of the space to build science stuff potentially. But my read on what's probably going to happen here is we probably should build science stuff to finish the city request and then go back and build over it to hit our gold threshold. And as much as I like this whole like spoonbill and heron play, it's a lot of food focus, right? Rattan is another tree. Bromelia is undergrowth. I am kind of thinking the bromelia might be the way to go here. All right. So Citadel, we're just taking the Alchemist Hut, I think. So be it. And then... Let me walk my giants over here just so we don't have to wait for them to arrive when we want to build stuff. So if we want to put down a Bromelia, we're going to have to do some upgrades, obviously. I think it is actually pretty fine and sensible here to... Okay, this can't be placed in the water. That's a shame. I didn't really think about that. And you can't either. So when we put down the bromelia, we'll have to put it on land. Well, it gives the science, it gives the food to the other plants, so I guess that's fine. You have to remember that we're specifically taking on water slots here. What a curious biome. By the way, I should mention it since we're at this point now. The first three-star drafts we do, we effectively just burn the charge without getting anything, and that's how we pay for the three stars that we received at the beginning of the game. So our next 3 draft tokens are probably not going to get us anything, because otherwise I would be rolling another wetlands draft right now or something to try to figure out what to do next. All right, let us play some bog iron. Oh, we just received a Temple of Reginald. The entomologist built a temple in honor of the swamp giant, who they love very much. And that has generated a bunch of free science that's actually going to get us pretty close to that tech score we need. We do need to place another micro as well. And then we're going to want, in general, for the Sundunes Citadel to have more stuff over here. More wetlands territory is the phrase I'm trying to get out of my head. Okay, so let's put down another biome, another mini here. We need to gain 19 points of science. So a single fly agaric will not do the job, but 2 would. We're not going to be able to gain science in any other way. What are you doing? Okay, that's a trade mission. That's fine. They invented something else. What did they invent? They invented decorated furniture from the umbrella thorn acacia wood. Okay, that's at least 2 points of prosperity. That's better than our other inventions. So we need to... You have your bonus. You have your thing. Again, I would really love to hold out for a relevant percentage booster on the thing that's giving 100 points. So let's just throw down a little bit here. We threw some... We placed a mushroom there, so I guess we'll place one here. Just desperately trying to get our levels up. Okay, we're at 3 pluses and 3 minuses for expansion. So if I put down anything over here, they'll reach out and grab it. And if that thing gives any science at all, then... Oh. Did I miss a source of science somewhere? Well, whatever. They did it. They got it. Cool. Great. So now we need to expand them up to 15 wealth. And we may not even need to rip out any of the science stuff on our way there. If we could just place down some stuff that generates gold here. So what do we have option-wise? We have the agates. What about gold-producing critters? We already have possums in the biome. Did I build? I did build rattlesnakes. So nothing we place down will be producing. Nothing we put down is going to give us any biodiversity. That's probably fine. So this would give me 25 extra gold and 1 extra threat for each micro in this bioticum. And it has extra micro itself. And it's amphibious. That is a 2-star creature. So if we were going to expand Okay, we have no 2-star minerals for the region. I'm just like thinking, if we were going to put down a 2-star, what else would we want to put into it? We can't place the bromelia because we're still dealing with water slots. I desperately need a draft. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to burn a draft here. And we're just going to burn all these drafts. Because our next draft is going to be our first 3-star draft. Just go ahead and get rid of... Okay, so we've paid all that out. I really do wish we had more drafting available. We could buy a draft charge. It's not necessarily how I want to be spending my stuff. I forgot that we could spend science to unlock cool new micros as well. So this is just plus 20% science for each adjacent animal. There's not really... We don't really have a great place to put one of those. And then in any case, we're trying to upgrade gold right now. I gotta remember what my what my whole deal is. So... Yeah, right now it doesn't look like we do have anything really that I want to build. I'm just going to upgrade the slot and put down some gold expanding stuff in it. When the slot's upgraded, nope, they did not get any boosters. That's a shame. Okay, I think we do want to put down a cottonmouth. It doesn't need to be placed adjacent to anything in particular. I'm just going to put it here. I have no idea how I want to manage our adjacencies. Now, unfortunately, there are no buildings that we can improve in town that will give us more wealth. By the way, once you've earned a star, you can't unearn it. So in case you were wondering, like, if I intend to finish the Alchemist Hut up before we leave the era, I do. My hope is that we can get this thing to 15 wealth and then overwrite some of the wealth stuff with science stuff instead. You know what I might do, actually? Kind of feel like we're going to need more land. All right. So it's not currently actually counting the micro in the bioticum, but we'll get there. Oh, there is an animal booster. Huh. That had not appeared, right? Well, put down another cottonmouth. Okay. Next city request is up. We'll get there. We'll get to it. This is going to push us to 13 wealth. And then we can probably micro ourselves the rest of the way, right? I have 14 micro charges. 14. 4 is the number that it says there. So I can yield increase in animal pretty seriously. We can put a ton of gold into a metal. And I mean, we want to be putting our micros down around here, right? Because we know this guy's going to continue to want more and more of them. Let's go ahead and golden stag beetle the bog iron. The bog iron's already metal, so I guess it makes more sense to do it here in case we need to tag, in case we need a bunch of metal tags for whatever reason. Alright, so 50 more gold is going to push you pretty damn close, I think. In fact, it gets us there. And then, yeah, we instantly earn the 3rd star because we're way over. Well, not way over, but we're over our thresholds. Okay, cool. Now, Now we want to expand the city. Territory is completely filled. So if we start building here, we can get that city to expand again. How are you on? If we start placing new biotica outside this city, it's going to want to expand too. And that makes me a little nervous. How many patches are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here it'd be 1, 2, 3. Okay. I was thinking if it's much closer to the Sundunes Citadel and we can just trust their explorer to get there first, then we can just throw some down. Here's what I think I'm going to do. We're about to receive 2 expansion charges for free as part of our era rewards, and so I've been a little slow to buy these, but I think I'm probably going to end up buying more anyway because I love them. I love to expand the world. So we're just gonna go ahead and plan to do an expansion right now. So you can use 1 charge to add 2 patches to the planet if you use it within the borders of a city, or 4 if you use it outside the borders of a city. I'm going to put it right here so it'll add them, it'll tuck them in right there, and this will give us a little bit more wetland to expand the Sundunes Citadel into. Unfortunately, it produced a bunch more water. I was kind of hoping that it would create land there. That's way more water than I wanted. Well, okay. This is what it is. So, I need to produce... just kind of science stuff. The entomologist also worships the Savannah Giant. Okay, they didn't build a temple about it, but they have love. Okay. I'm not sure if a city will build a temple to 2 different giants. I don't actually remember if that happens. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. So this counts as a water bioticum, so we can put down a dolomite here and get... oh no, dolomite is land only. Dolomite is not itself amphibious. But the chert is... okay, so this should cause an expansion. And that's 2 more biotica with... oh no, distinct biotica. I've doubled up. I'll have to undouble somewhere. I'll figure it out in a second. Let's let the expansion happen and then we'll worry about it. And once we've done that, everybody's stuff for the era is actually maxed out. Our world market, we managed to get to 7 total trade routes. So our world market is producing actually a lot of resources, quite a lot. I'm pretty pleased with that. Are we close to another... ooh, 1 point of wealth, which is to say 41 gold would get us another one here. How about you? Are you close to generating another one? No, you would need a ton more wealth, and you would need 5 more. So if we could get 1 more trade route going, we could get an 8th point on this and thus get 10 more of each resource. It's probably not worth stressing about. But yeah, unfortunately, we only have 5 distinct biotica with base science yields because I'm doubled up on cattails. And I don't believe we have another scienceable bioticum that can go in the water. I could build rattan on land, but we're not going to be able to get this city to expand onto land without buying an expansion booster, which is not a thing it's not a thing I'm necessarily against. It would be so much easier just to build, like, nickel somewhere, though, The problem with this is if I do it on land, I'm going to disrupt my African wild dogs. We're gonna lose some wealth. I'm not necessarily super opposed, and obviously at some point you wanna upgrade over this stuff. But I don't want to use an upgrade charge right now, because right now upgrade charges level slots up to level 2, but in a second when we click over to the next era, they'll just upgrade slots to level 3 instead. They'll just gain a ton of power. So it's a pretty big deal. We'd be losing this. And then also 20 gold off the other dog, because we'll disable its percentage bonus. You know what? It's fine. This is fine. Let's just replace this dog with a nickel deposit. We'll send the dog to the old nickel farm upstate. Alright, so I'll get my alchemist hut all leveled up, which gains us another 120 science, and so probably a couple more points of technology. Maybe even enough for another invention. No, it's going to stop a little short. Okay. So just making sure all of our alchemist hut is maxed out. Our costume maker is maxed out. Our world market is pretty good. What was our other trade building? Your trading post. I never took your inspiration. Oops. So yeah, I never built his inspiration for this era, and we definitely should get this down before we finish the era, right? So if we take the market, we just need to put down 2 more biotica that have gold yields within his borders. That's going to require us to purchase a small amount of Eon, but I don't think it's a bad move. So, things with gold yields. Tends to be we're talking about minerals and animals. We've already built all the minerals that have gold yields in this biotica, in this biome, as well as the animals. So he's going to need to expand up into the other biome in order to be able to pick up new distinct gold biotica. So I am going to go to the shop and purchase some Eon. I'm going to pay population for it. And we're going to put down 2 new things right here. We're going to expand over them, and it's going to be great. You just want any adjacent animal. Okay. So you want for there to be a micro in adjacent biotica, and you don't want to be near a plant. And you, so I wanted to test this. If we put down a mineral bioticum adjacent to the terrapin, after the terrapin is placed, does it get the jeweled beetle, or is that actually just a thing that happens on... Okay, it is a thing that happens when the terrapin is dropped. Good to know. It was pretty clear that it worked that way, but it's good to be certain. Alright, so this should be generating expansion interest. Okay. That's 2 new biotica, so when you step out here, we should immediately get to max out our market, and then we can pass into the next era. And I say pass like we're dying. Obviously, things are going well. But you can see the extreme value of expanding the size of the planet as the cities are already starting to butt against each other. And then we have 2 more microcharges to spend, and we'll use them on something that's good. I don't know what. But I just want to make sure this does what I think it does. Okay, good. Market capped out. I saw the gold come out of it. Okay, so how do we want to spend 2 more charges? Centipede on a particularly valuable animal seems pretty good. We don't have all that many minerals down, so the number of places where the chanterelle is even much of a bonus are few for sure, and we don't really have a large amount of food coming out of any of them. So yeah, I think this is a centipede that gets placed on like the ostrich. Yeah, that's not bad, right? There's a lot of gold coming out of this fennec as well. Yeah, maybe we centipede the fennec, actually. Alright, and that will, I think, finish what we are supposed to be doing. I said we were going to finish this game this episode. I have played very slowly here, but I was trying to make sure that we managed all of our things. Alright, 166 becomes 196. It's not too bad. It's the percentage bonus is stacking with this other percentage bonus additively, I believe. Yeah, 25 plus the 50 bonus plus another 2. Where's the extra 2 bonus coming from? I'm not sure why the bonus is 52. And then the whole lot's multiplied by 155%. That's the centipede bonus plus the hunter pal bonus plus the 15% bonus for having taken hunter era. So yeah, not bad overall. Okay, and everybody's locked in at maximum value on their inspirations for the era, so let's move forward. Purses filled and pockets lined, humanity celebrates its wealth. And see, that one we were able to 3-star. Alright, so 2 additional crevices. We'll make good use of them. Some limits, some microcharges and stuff. And there are some new turning points. There's some new era types, but they have to be unlocked by finishing games, I believe. So, what are we going to head to from here? We can go for the Super City. The merchant will start creating a majestic building that touches the sky. We'll turn the city's highest gold bioticum into more prosperity and gain a boost for each unique bioticum in the area. And obviously, when you take these, you get some kind of bonus immediately because, or you know, if there is a bonus, you get it immediately because the game's going to end at the end of the 3rd era, so there wouldn't be a reason to give us a reward then. So, built by the entomologist, this provides the scientist power food, gives science for food from plants. We do have some reason to lean into food generation from plants. That said, this first step of getting to 75 technology overall on the planet is maybe not going to be the easiest thing for us. Then the humans will make some kind of cool improvement after we finish the first phase of the planet, which will help to pay out even more. Sludge Corp could move in and find a way to exploit nature to make processed food. Maximize food from Biotica for the Sludge Factory until 40 Eon has passed, and then the Sludge Factory will form in the Huntress' city, and it will turn food into money somehow. It like trades, you know, it sells the food to the other planet, to the other cities, but it makes the city that you're producing the food in kind of poisonous, and I don't think it's a good match for our desire to keep all the animals alive. So I'm inclined to either go for the skyscraper or there is, of course, the super fun Age of Horrors. The merchant has heard an aberrant call from beyond the fabric of reality. That sounds funny. We can go and help. Part of the reason that I like this one is that it operates off the Dark Offering tag, and we have the Dark Offering tag on a number of our Biotica already. And it'll certainly generate some additional resource payouts. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for a nice Age of Horror. Available because we have a city with at least 3 herbivore bioticas or 20 total wealth. Yeah. Alright, so, great news. Here in the Darkland Stilts, we have constructed a sacrifice altar. Something sinister is brewing, and we're going to find out what in just a second here. I guess let's go ahead and take our inspiration. So, the lighthouse likes ocean biotica, obviously not the thing we're doing. The cathedral gives bonus mystery for the bioticum within borders that has the highest mystery. Probably not a great fit for the situation we're in now. We don't really have anything generating mystery. The ringsmith will give us bonus gold for the gem bioticum that is producing the highest gold. And the luxury shop is the same thing, but for animals. I think we're more likely to get high value out of animals. We've been leaning into animal stuff, so let's take that luxury shop. And constructing that luxury shop is immediately going to earn us 71 gold because of the animal within borders having the highest gold animal having that much gold on it, which is going to push us over this first star threshold. And from the deep, an entity has awoken. Look at that friendly guy. Okay, so our goal is now to produce 20 I don't know what to call this resource. So you see we will produce plus 0.1 blood and 2 gold for each food in the Dark Offering bioticum within borders that has the highest food output on it. In addition, we have created the Cultist Kit, which gives 1, 3, or 6 blood and also a bunch of wealth if there are Dark Offering biotica within borders. This is a trade product. This is as you can see, it has the contagious trait. If this city starts a new export to another city, that city also gains the Cultist Kit for free. And then we just have to look out for things that have the Dark Offering tag, such as the Cottonmouth, the alligator. I saw that the alligator was tagged this way at the beginning. So it's often it's on like ritual materials. Is it on anything else that sits in this biome? Sometimes it's on plants. Okay, so we have a couple of animals, and we can certainly from now on pay attention to things that have that tag for drafts. Remember, every city is going to end up with the Cultist Kit, at least in theory, hopefully, if we produce enough wealth. And so we're going to want to make sure that there's at least 3 distinct Dark Offering biotica in each of our cities. But once we've done that, it's just going to be a ton of extra money and prosperity for everybody. And then, once we have all the ritual materials, we can move on to the next star. But that sounds like tomorrow work. I think we've awakened what we need to awaken for today, and tomorrow we will feed it. So that's going to be it for us for now. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return, the ritual begins, and we'll see you then.